살고 싶으면 타요.
This is Getting Past the Subtitles. I'm Sean Peel.
This is DK Lee.
And we talk about everything Asian zombies. Or lack thereof.
Well, this one had plenty of zombies this time around.
How much legit zombies? How many of those people were like people and not computer graphics?
Word.
Yeah, we are continuing on with the zombie series. We're on our third week, and we are talking about a famous or not so famous sequel.
Well,
this movie came out at a struggling time. So
well, at the perfect time.
right. It's a commentary on today's civilization, the society as a whole. Yes. So the Train to Busan, like spin-off sequel,
Yes.
takes place 4 years after the events, and it's pretty much just a whole new story.
Yeah.
Within the universe.
Yeah.
Same director, came out this year. South Korea got it first, of course, in July, and then we just got it like weeks ago. So if you want to see it in theaters, it's in theaters. If you would like that experience, Lee, isn't it great to have theaters again?
Yeah, I love theaters.
Have you been in one?
No, not yet. But I do want to go watch Tenet. So
yes, Tenet was great. Yeah, the theater experience actually is not bad.
Is there like no people? That's actually nice.
Yeah, now they're like forcing for like no people to be
there.
Well, it depends because like when I went to AMC, they have pre-blocked off seats when you like reserve online.
Weird.
So then you just choose like the open seats, and then it's pre-selected, so it's already distanced.
Yeah.
But then we went to Cinemark, and Cinemark has like all the seats available, but when you pick a seat, it automatically blocks out the seats around you.
Oh.
So which is better because AMC tends to block out all the middle aisles first.
Wow.
So most people are just sitting on like the edges
corners
of which is like the worst
Yeah.
part to be at. I'm like, why didn't they do Cinemark's thing? This is just they block out everybody around
First
you.
come, first serve.
Exactly. And then it just reaches capacity by that way.
Yeah.
So, but like I never felt kind of like, I guess, like at risk, I guess you could say. Or
did you just have your mask on the whole time?
Yeah, no. I mean, obviously, if you're eating snacks and not, but sometimes like no either.
Yeah.
Like you don't have like
because I would feel so like
uncomfortable.
Yeah, just like having it on, like breathing, like for 2
You're
hours, just like sitting down,
distracted.
Yeah.
I mean,
trying to watch the movie.
You are like far enough from people that it's not a crazy issue, but like they advise you to wear it throughout.
Understandable.
Unless you're consuming the goods, so to speak.
The pops.
The pops. Yeah. So, yeah, I went a couple times. It's good to be back. Felt nice.
Nice.
Slowly but surely, things are going. But anyway, we digress. Yeah. When was the last time you seen Train to Busan?
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah. I think last year probably.
Gotcha.
I think. Actually, maybe not. 2 years ago.
God dang.
It's been a while.
I saw it again this year, but like, I don't know, a couple months ago. Yeah. Just because but before that we hadn't seen it in like a while.
I think I've only watched it like twice, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you prefer one over the other?
Yes.
That was a very clear yes.
No hesitation there.
Oh, which one?
The first one.
The first one, yeah. This was a struggle bus for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this film wasn't a bad film. It's just I feel like it was trying to replay the same formula.
Sure. Yes.
But in a little bit different way.
But
then it didn't work as effectively because of the way that they told the story and the build up to it.
Sure.
And the character building and stuff like that, I felt like lacked a little bit. But
right. I agree. Yeah, I mean, it was very much like the bigger, better, like expanded kind of sequel, like Hollywood sequel you would expect of a blockbuster hit that came out, And this movie felt like it was really that, but not to its advantage at all. I mean, one like, bigger setting kind of takes place over numerous locations rather than like a confined space. but that's like what made Train to Busan stand out a little more as well.
Yeah.
But it does kind of follow the same formula as the first, but I mean, mixed with like just not the great character development or story, but also just like the fact that there's so much CG and just it doesn't feel like, it feels really artificial to me. Whereas like that's what they use to supplement like this more bigger kind of more visceral experience that they were kind of shooting for.
Yeah.
And overall it didn't work.
Why don't you tell us what this story's
No.
about?
How about no? So yeah, again, it's set 4 years after, and we like the prologue is set with a family, and this guy who's he's in the military, and he's like basically trying to get his sister and her husband and their kid to evac off of a boat. Originally, the boat, like they're transporting refugees to Japan, I think it was originally.
Yeah, transferring them, yeah.
And then something happens, and then they get steered into Hong Kong. And then like it turns out there's infected on the boat with the civilians on the bottom. And then, oh no, people start dying. And then the ex-military's sister and son end up dying. They get bitten. Oh no! But then the his brother-in-law, survives. And so like I don't know, like 4 years after that event, they're living in Hong Kong, and like I guess they're like separate, and they're just like living as refugees in Hong Kong. And there's like a little bit of like a hint that their Korean refugees are not welcome in Hong Kong. There's just a very kind of racial divide between them. And so apparently the ex-military guy acts like he gets into this gang or whatever, and he's asked to do a job, which his brother-in-law happens to be there. And they're like, oh, no, what are you doing here? Blah, blah, blah. And so like the job is to retrieve money from like the gang leader. Like it was being transported, but then I guess they lost it somehow. So then he's like hiring these guys to go back into Yeon to get the money, bring it back on the boat, and go basically ship back to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So, and then they get like a big cash back. It's like $2.5 million, whatever. So they do that, and then shit's the fan. And then there's a gang in Korea called Unit like 631 or something.
Yeah.
Who they used to be soldiers that were helping civilians like during the whole crisis.
Yeah.
But now they're just a bunch of crazy bandit hooligans.
Yeah.
And then they go to raid the truck, thinking like the truck is filled with food, even though it's filled with like useless cash.
Yeah.
While you're in Korea, obviously. And everybody dies.
It's quarantine.
Right. Like, I mean, Korea is like no more. Like, that place is a desolate wasteland of zombies and et cetera, et cetera. So everybody dies except for the brother-in-law and the ex-soldier. But the brother-in-law hides in the truck. And then while the military guy is saved by two little girls who are just like survivors, essentially. And then it turns out like they have like this so happened to be related past, like he left them behind when he was, going onto the boat. But basically on the truck, they have like a satellite phone to call the boat back once they have the cash to bring them back. But the phone is in the truck with the brother-in-law. And so the gang brings him back. And then like the leader of the gang basically like goes into the truck, like investigating, like this is weird that they're transporting cash. Like who would do that in this kind of place? It's useless. And they find the satellite phone. So the like leader of the gang decides to basically like screw everybody, and then decides that he's gonna deliver the cash for himself and then escape onto the boat. And then there's like drama between him and like it's like Sergeant something, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
But he's kind of like the head like security guy, you can say, to sum it up. But he catches along eventually, and then like more shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like two stories, right? Like it's a parallel thing. Like that's happening on the gang side, but then you follow the military guy who gets rescued by the two little girls, and then it's like there's this family with the mom and then like the crazy grandfather, and then he tells them that they have a way to get off with the phone. So they have to go back to the gang's base to take the phone and then escape. And then they do, more shit hits the fan. The brother dies, and then there's this crazy long action drive CGI sequence driving all the way to the port. And then more people die. The boat never happens because more people die.
Well, the leader of the gang,
Yeah.
he like comes out of nowhere. He hits the car, and then
Right.
he gets the girl hostage, and then he takes the truck and he goes to the boat, and then he's like, "Yeah, I brought the money to you guys," but the gang dude just
like,
kills him.
Yeah, he's like, "I did it." Oh yeah, that's right, he did murder him. But then the zombies like infest the boat
Yeah,
because they didn't close the hatch in time. So the boat was screwed and everybody in it.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that so backtracking, the grandfather is like talking with like a rescue unit, like Sergeant Jane or whoever.
Yeah. Major Jane.
Major Jane.
That was the weakest part of this movie by far. Let me just say.
And he's just like, she's gonna help us, but then he's like crazy, so nobody believes him.
Yeah.
And then it turns out he wasn't crazy.
There was actually somebody behind
this lady from like the UN, and
Yeah.
then they come into a helicopter and then rescue everybody. And then there's more dramatic sequences.
That whole bit was just a little.
Just happens to be there at the right
Yeah.
time. Major Jane is real. Yeah. And then and the story. It's very conventional. It's very one note, you know.
Which isn't a bad thing. It just feels a little just weak. That's all I can say.
Yeah, weak is a good word.
Yeah.
Where do you think are these fallbacks? Where do you
like fleshing out some of the characters, I feel like I think in like if we were to compare Train to Busan and this one, I feel like in Train to Busan the characters felt like they came from somewhere.
Yeah.
And they have some kind of like
backstory.
meaningful backstory that just kind of fit with what's happening. I just felt like the survivors, like the woman and the girls and the grandfather,
Random.
so random, but like you don't really ever get a background story of who they are, and you know, like the woman only had one daughter, and the other girl, who the hell is the other girl?
Grandfather.
Right? And the grandfather. Who the hell is the grandfather? Right? So stuff like that. I think I'm not sure, but my guess is the other girl is the girl that will survive in the first movie. I don't know. That's my guess.
You're pulling some legs here.
That's my guess. But it's just like it's like they don't ever really kind of come off. I feel like you don't feel as invested in them because you don't ever feel scared for them.
Right.
That's one thing I think that's very big in this movie.
The stakes are not.
It's not that high because like the zombies aren't that scary at all. Like they're just they're like props for the human beings to control in this movie. And I think that really kind of knocks down the fear factor in this film because it doesn't feel like these zombies are a threat at all, to be honest.
It's like
they're just like a nuisance. They're just there in the way, you know.
It's like, you know, like the people already know how to deal with them.
Yeah.
And like they now have a clear advantage over the zombies.
They have no kind of like the reason why zombies are scary and why they are a threat is because of the sheer number of force and the ability for them to just multiply and just grow and just like be everywhere, right? But in this film, people know how to deal with them. They can't hear. I mean, they can't see at night, and they just like roam around like dumb like little like toys, and like
they're only attracted to like light and sound.
Yeah, so like all you have to do pretty much is to distract them, and they'll just go somewhere else, right?
Exactly.
And so there's no threat there, and the human beings are more of a threat in this film. And like the premise of it, I feel like they could have done really well. But I feel like the human villains too weren't strong enough.
Right.
Like if they really manipulated the zombies in certain ways to really make them scary for the other people.
Right. Yeah.
it would have been such a better movie.
It never felt like a third party thing. Like it felt always a two party, like the survivors and then the gang.
Yeah.
And then the zombies were, like you said, they're just props or kind of a nuisance as part of like the environment and the setting. Because most of the time they just use them as a tool. Yeah. Like the ganglers, like, you know, they shoot the flares and then they can use the zombies to their advantage.
Or like they just play with them in the arena or stuff like that. You know, like they just become like so.
Exactly. So, but they're not afraid of them.
Yeah,
right?
it has no like zombies lose their like
exactly
their main point, which is to be this threat, this uncontrollable threat.
Yeah,
which like obviously they can control them now, so it's not really a threat anymore. And like I feel like at that point, like why is Korea even like in that state? Because if you quarantine the whole place, and if you're able to if even just like that small gang is able to manage the zombies, I'm sure like people can like armies can come in and figure out how to deal with all the zombies, right?
Right.
And so like it just felt kind of there's like a displacement there that I just couldn't really get over.
Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest thing, because in Train to Busan it's just like it's just uncontrollable. There's just chaos everywhere and like moment after moment. Also the space helped out a lot. Yeah, just a small train, and outside there's more zombies, so it's actually safer in the train. Stuff like that really helped out. The small confined space really makes you feel claustrophobic with all this danger just right next to you, which helps a lot in a zombie movie.
But it's like the shtick that works for like Train to Busan is, story-wise, is like survivability.
Yes,
like surviving like is the story, and that's the thrill of the film. And that's not the case with Peninsula.
This is an action movie. Right. It's not a survival movie.
Exactly. So it's like having to replace survivability with action. They just didn't do a good job with basically switching the genre, essentially.
Which I can be down with an action zombie movie.
Yeah, but just do it right.
Yeah.
Just do it right.
Which, like, I mean, action wise, I don't think this was a bad movie at all. I really enjoyed the action scenes. Even the car stuff, like, even though there's a lot of CGI and stuff, it was pretty cool. Like, I enjoyed it.
Right.
It's just, as a zombie film, I just like lost that kind of like, why did it have to be zombies kind of thing? You know, it just kind of felt like that.
Could have been any other like post-apocalyptic movie kind of thing. Yeah, I was gonna say before, like, kind of zombies are sort of kicked to the curb, right? And aren't sort of that threat anymore. And so you have to, like I said, like, they're not a third party threat. It's more two party between like the gang and then the survivors.
Yeah.
But they just didn't do a good job with making them feel like villains either. Kind of like what you said earlier.
Yeah.
So in that sense, that's where like the stakes never like feel that they're there.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, you know, who's like, where is the fear, like the feeling of like danger maybe, or like, I don't know, a sense of like stake, essentially. Like, we're gonna, like, if we lose this, then everything is gone to hell, kind of thing.
I think one of the biggest problems is the villain and the main characters. Yeah, they barely like know each other. Sorry,
sure. Excuse me. Ronies. God. This will be our last podcast ever.
Sorry. Like, I think that one of the biggest problems in this film is like the villains and the main characters, they barely like interact with each other.
Right.
And I think there's no level of investment that they have with each other, and all they care about is just the money.
Yeah.
At a certain point.
They both have the same goal, right? Like, like every party in the movie is working for the same goal, literally.
Yeah. And it's not menacing at all. The villains don't feel menacing at all. So it's like, he wants money, I want money. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not like they're like these, they say they're like crazy people, but like, I mean, they're in a zombie like infested land. What are they gonna do, really?
Right.
And like, you know, like, he wants to get out and he wants to get out. They both want to get out. It's not like a big deal. It's not like, they're not like this big villain kind of person, but they try to make him out to be kind of like that, like how they dress him up, how they look. you know, all of that.
More like their actions versus like
right. And like they don't instill a kind of like fear that the zombies can do.
And they don't even have a fear.
And so like there's no,
they all feel equal.
Exactly. Like you would expect one or the other to instill that fear. But the zombies lose their fear like early on. And the villains, you meet them and they're not really fearful either. They don't really instill any kind of fear in the main characters. Like they like just run over them. Like they just go into the you know, the headquarters or whatever, like it's nothing. And they just start, you know, shooting him, and the whoever the captain or whatever, he just gets run over by the truck. Not run over, but he gets hit by the truck. He's like a fool too.
Right.
The other guy is just like a fool too, because he's just kind of like a crazy dude who just can't control his like emotions and just like is everywhere.
Right.
That's it. He's not really like.
And nobody's like you said, menacing or has a villainous aura.
Yeah, he's not like intellectually menacing. He's just like
Or even
raw,
just, like,
emotionally, instinctually, just like doing whatever the hell he wants, kind of dude.
Everybody's fueled by their desires.
Yeah.
In a way, but they all have the same desire, which is
to leave,
get the money and get on the boat, right? But nobody has like it's like kind of a villain archetype to them, or even with that desire, like nobody has a clear like power or like over anybody. Like they're all like as nimble as each other. Yeah. Right. If anything, the ex-military guys clearly has like the most experience in combat and everything. So it's clear like, oh, this guy's just gonna sweep through every soldier and zombie that he finds, because you know, like he's like the John Wick of
zombie world.
Zombie world. But everybody else is like isn't equal or above that either. So it's like just loses.
Yeah, I don't know. And there's a lot of little plot holes that kind of annoyed me too.
Was there? I didn't really
like. If you really think about it, things like why didn't he check the truck before he brought it over to the headquarters? Oh, like the sergeant, like he just assumes that it's something, but he doesn't ever check it.
But he's an idiot, so it's
no. But they say he like has quick wits. He like he can smell like fishy things going on really quickly. But he doesn't care to check the truck and see what it is and why the people were trying to like take it over. Right. Stuff like that, or like other stuff like if that headquarters, and all the ex soldier people who are living there and like are able to like create this kind of like safe haven. Why aren't they able to just ask for help, like the grandpa to take a helicopter and like take them out? It's not that hard.
Well, that's what they said that they tried to do. They were sending like SOS signals.
Yeah, but why did it come at that moment when the grandpa did it and never for 4 years? Come on. Well, they were able to survive for 4 years and they weren't able to do that. Stuff like that.
That went crazy, bro.
It's just like happens. It's for the film, and it's just like
it's all convenient.
Yeah, it's very convenient for the film, and it just kind of doesn't fall right.
Look, when there's a teenage girl who can drift in a Ford like Explorer,
yeah, I mean that's also
forgiven
crazy,
but forgiven all unnatural.
Yeah, but it's just like little things like that, just kind of like
I don't know. What bugs me the most, top tier, is in a Hong Kong where they all start speaking English, and then the Hong Kong like gang boss. He's like English, like some American guy.
I think they were trying to cater this very much towards like the Western audience, which is why they kind of pushed for the English. Right. That's my guess.
I could only imagine so. Yeah. And like the newscasters were English.
Oh yeah, that was kind of awkward too. Kind of cringe.
I don't understand.
That beginning when they like explaining what happened to Korea.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's fully quarantined now.
They're like the perfect
What happened after the 4 years? Do you know what happened in Korea?
Well, I can't explain it, but yeah, too much catering. Well, I mean, we're very like, just do you, bros.
Yeah.
But I guess if you want to be that big of a market,
Yeah, I feel like it does better if you just focus on.
Just do it like
Right?
natively.
I mean, Parasite, they don't care.
Right.
They're like, dude, it's gonna be full Korean.
It just looks more cringy.
Just read.
Yeah. The more you try to like cater and throw,
unless like you
bad
actually
English.
like, you know.
unless it takes place in there. Or,
Yeah,
you
even
know,
like Avengers was cringy when they tried to put like the Korean stuff in it. Do you remember when they like go to Korea? I think it was Black Panther that did it.
oh yeah.
Where
yeah,
like
yeah,
they
yeah.
go
I
to
kinda
Korea for
forgot.
like a few seconds.
scenes.
Yeah.
But it was like hardly like.
Yeah, but
You
even
know?
those like few like seconds, I was like, dude,
What?
stop.
They like went through the alleyway and then it looked like
The market, that weird market.
Yeah, yeah. And then it looked like Vegas. Like
And
the
that
one into the
Korean woman
casino.
like was speaking some weird Korean. I don't
Really?
even know what they were saying. Like I couldn't even understand what that woman was saying. And like what Scarlett
Hurt.
Johansson was saying, I had no clue.
Big hurt.
So many weird stuff.
I saw a movie the other day where it was like, oh, it was like this 80s martial arts film, but it was like the martial arts was actually Taekwondo
Mm.
and they called it karate.
Uh,
And like it was like the American team versus the Korean team. And the coach, like when the Korean team, like when the coach and they were talking to each other, they weren't even speaking Korean. Like they were making sounds, like imitating Korean.
wow.
It was so bad and so racist.
That must
dude.
have been fun.
I was like, why? Why?
Comedy, bro.
Just why?
That probably would have been a better film.
It was a better film. Yeah, Peninsula.
No,
Any-
but overall,
Any positives?
the action was good. I like the car chase stuff.
Mm.
I think the gun
Yeah,
scenes were pretty good.
I would prefer that over anything. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
When like the brother-in-law died and he went full like man from nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. And he's, you know, after the smoke bomb, after the smoke screen,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that action stuff, it wasn't bad. It was good.
Good. I couldn't do the car chases. I was just like, I don't.
Yeah.
And there's just like, aside from the fact that it's all CG, just how many there are and how long those sequences are, just gets tiring.
Yeah, it gave me a little bit of the Baby Driver vibes. Have you watched that movie, Baby Driver?
I love Baby Driver, but this
Yeah.
is like not
But
even.
but no, let me finish. It gave me that vibe, but CGI,
Basically,
fully CGI.
it's like full not practical.
Especially because the girl is, you know,
Mhm.
can't drive.
Right.
She's not allowed to drive. She's young. She's not that age.
Yeah. Which is like that's fine.
Well, I'm
like, in
sure
the
some of
setting.
the stunts for the cars weren't CGI, but a lot of
know.
it felt like it was CGI.
It all looked unreal.
Well, the thing is,
I mean,
the whole background has
Yeah.
to be CGI, which is why the
right.
probably felt like that.
But like, even if you saw, like, it looks like the cars weren't even legit. I swear to God, because like there was a shot.
Nah, it
There-
can't be the whole time the car's
Bro.
gonna be CGI.
The car itself did not even look practical.
Well, yeah, I mean,
But like, you know, because sometimes if they do a full CGI set, they'll still have like a practical, like
like
whatever
a practical
they're in.
car, yeah.
Yeah, like they're in. Not even that, but like it looks like they're in like a green screen box with windows.
I'm pretty sure it was a real car.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I'm sure
Maybe
they
not for
had a
every
real
shot.
one, and they also had CGI ones.
I think the only real car was like the last sequence, the last car sequence.
Yeah.
I think all that was CGI. But in the beginning, the first car sequence, some of that was real. Like
Yeah.
the cars that they like built, like that are like metal, whatever.
Yeah.
Like those were legit. And then like the Kia Optima that they drove in and the truck was real. But everything outside of that was not. It
Well,
was like,
probably, yeah, because it's all background stuff.
but still, like just put it on a motor and then like shake it. Don't like put them in a green box. You know, like do something. Yeah, this.
There's just a lot of stuff like, another one. The little girl, she got rammed by that truck, and she's still just chilling in the front seat at the end.
I don't remember.
The main captain guy.
Yeah.
He comes out of nowhere when they're about to go to the ship.
Right.
He just
He corners them.
rams the truck, rams the
T-bones.
car. Yeah,
And she was like,
and the little girl was in the front seat. Little girl.
T-boned.
Right there. And she just comes out like it's just chilling, man.
It's all good, guys. No broken bones.
Stuff like that. You're just like, okay.
That guy, the ex-military guy, didn't bother to put a seatbelt on after like the first 2 minutes of the drifting. Yeah, just it's all conventional. Oh, I was like skimming through, but I forgot. Even the grandfather, when like they get T-boned, and then he finds like the mother and then the ex-military guy, and then it's the little girl and the grandpa like in the background, and he's hiding like behind the truck.
Yeah,
and the leader doesn't notice him.
Yeah,
the grandfather has a gun in his hand and is not like noticed him. I'm like, you had how many opportunities to shoot this guy, dude? Like he held her hostage and everything. I was like, he doesn't notice you. Like you have the advantage, but then he just jumps in and then he gets shot to save her. I'm like, but this didn't have to happen. This didn't have to happen this way.
Yeah, so many things that just kind of you notice.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not okay. It's too late. Can't rewrite the script.
Yeah, and also the ending too.
What about it? Just like how?
No, just how like melodramatic it is.
I'm gonna kill myself.
And it just didn't really work out because like she holds that gun on her face for like
ever
good 10 minutes, and like I don't know how she decided, oh wait, he's gonna come save me, I should not kill myself out of nowhere.
I have the willpower.
And like that distance felt pretty far. I don't know if you just
it did, right?
You know?
But I don't know. It's a movie, man.
It is.
It's a movie.
They're just able to like hear each other. Like she's in the car. How do you hear all that? With all these zombies like screaming and shouting at you, you can hear the little girl be like, "Mom, don't,
don't do it." For 10 minutes. And then Jane is like, "We gotta
go." Yeah. And then he has that whole flashback that goes like 10 minutes. And he's like, "No, I can do something about this. I can go alone.
I won't let another person die in my."
Why not just have those people who just came to rescue you help you out and
like
fight those zombies or distract them like you distracted them all the freaking time the whole time and just have them go somewhere else.
Clearly had backup with the UN soldiers right next to you.
I know. And he's like, "No, I'm gonna go alone and try to save this girl."
You guys handle the daughters.
I mean, clearly it's for the movie, but
too much for the movie.
Yeah.
Well, we won't be getting a third one.
You never know, man. I don't know how well this movie did, but
I sure hope not. Well, it's still going. Like it's not finished. I don't know how it did, like domestically in Korea.
Right.
I mean, here it doesn't even.
I mean, because of the COVID stuff, it probably didn't do too well.
Yeah.
I think any movie just kind of won't do the best in this situation, but overall, I don't think this was the most.
Is it the zombie movie we were hoping for the series?
I mean, it's the best zombie movie
as far as
zombies actually being in the movie so far. But my favorite movie so far is probably One Cut of the Dead.
Yeah, that's a clear winner. There's no
so far.
There's no
as
competition.
of now.
Well, our next one, is also Korean, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Odd Family Zombie on Sale.
Yeah.
Which came out last year, and if you would like to watch it, good luck. I think you can buy it on YouTube. But
yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like maybe Amazon, but I didn't see.
Yeah, it premiered. I think. Forget if it was the New York Film Festival or the Asian Film Festival.
Gotcha.
But that's where I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, this looks interesting. I should probably watch it." And I didn't get to.
Oh, you missed it?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
But now is your time to make up.
Yes.
With not a great screen, but it's okay.
It's okay.
Did you get any feedback from the movie? Do you think were people
good feedback?
Were people saying it was good or?
I haven't really.
Gotcha.
Seen it. Yeah, seen any feedback. So I'll be going in blind.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean this whole series was pretty much blind for me.
Me too.
I guess technically except for Peninsula, but.
Oh yeah, but I mean it's new. So
yeah.
It's not like 4 years old or something.
Exactly. It's not like we're doing Train to Busan. I've like seen it a million times.
How many times did you watch Train to Busan?
Maybe no more than 4 times for sure, but probably 3,
Yeah.
4. But I feel like I've seen it like congested a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh.
I should have done this for my family movie. I'm telling you, man.
Bro, the family
It's
movie.
a family movie in disguise. No, come on.
Yeah, with a random grandpa and then an extra daughter.
Yeah,
pops
random
into the scene.
grandpa. It's a dysfunctional, unconventional family with the mother with 2
with
daughters.
0 backstory.
It's like,
Ugh.
hey, save my daughters,
please.
save my daughters. I have a favor.
Don't-
It's like,
Even if I.
why didn't you just go with me and survive together? Why
Right,
are you
like-
trying to like?
Why you got to do this?
Yeah,
Like, because she was running with like the limp in
Yeah,
the
the
thing. That's no excuse.
that's the only reason she got shot.
It's no excuse.
Or-
Exactly. She has to take the bullet.
Yep.
To die, but not really die.
Yeah, if they did it the same way, the reason why she survives is because they didn't want to do the same thing that they did in Train to Busan, where the father dies for the child.
Right.
They're like, oh, we can't do the same thing. It's too cliche.
But
Let's change it up a little bit, except for everything else.
Except for everything else. But they won't know that. Just the ending part. I thought like the guy was gonna sacrifice himself, be like, just take me.
Yeah,
You guys
but nope.
survive. Nope. That would have worked better. More concise.
Maybe.
More concise.
Maybe in the sense that like he finally atones for his like
Right.
his guilt,
Yeah.
his burden, because he's like, oh, I'm the only one alive, and the sister's like, oh, why are you the only one alive in his
Yeah.
dreams? So maybe that would have
Even
been
the
a
brother
nice,
died.
yeah.
So he's like, I'm alone.
Maybe that would have been a nice way of ending it, where he dies for the family.
But even that, like that point of
It's still cliche, but
yeah, but like we said, not all cliches are bad, and that
yeah,
would
no,
work.
I think it would work because of his character.
Exactly.
You know why? Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but even in that sense, like his guilt or whatever, like just that whole character type just never really like
Manifested.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
never was like really pushed.
It was kind of in the back.
Yeah, like none of the characters were just fleshed out. Honestly, it
Yeah.
was just here's a little bit of character, and then here's all plot.
Like he didn't ever feel like he really, really was tormented by the guilt. you
Right.
know?
Yeah. And then there's like 0 motivation for any of those characters to do.
Except for money.
Exactly.
That's
But
the
even that, like,
MacGuffin.
why do they want the money?
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason.
It's just a MacGuffin. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just something for them to follow,
And
chase
then-
after,
Yeah.
and it doesn't really.
There's no desire for that MacGuffin. Like, there's no.
Yeah, it
exactly.
doesn't. It's not a high motivator. I feel like.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is where this falls short. Whereas like surviving to live another day is a pretty big motivator.
Exactly. It's a pretty natural thing.
Yeah, which in Train to Busan I feel like it captured very well.
Yeah. Beyond that, so yeah, it's gonna be the last one, man.
You think they should have done this sequel,
Or
or it should have just stayed as a one-time, one-off thing?
well, after seeing this, I should just stay. I mean, like again, like there's no like Train to Busan was good. Like it wasn't my favorite.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't the most spectacular film, but it was good. Like it was a good zombie conventional like blockbuster-esque film. Which I was like a sequel, sure, fine. Like I wouldn't mind a sequel, but they just dropped the ball on it. Like they just didn't do it right, you know.
I don't know why they had to go 4 years in the future.
Yeah, it's pretty far, right?
Like I would have much rather have seen how the little girl tries to survive in a world after her father dies,
Sure.
and the
not
pregnant
yeah.
woman and her daughter, and like what happens there after in Busan, because Busan's apparently safe, but even there they're
Like it looks like all of Korea's effort,
yeah,
right?
they're like, oh, even there it wasn't safe anymore, and everything got wrecked. So it would have been pretty cool to see what happened there.
Yeah, I guess it was like it's better, or at least the director, the writers are better sticking to their survivability guns.
Well, I think it's just because we already invested in those characters, so it would have been so much easier for
Sure,
you to
sure.
reinvest in those characters.
right.
Whereas in this movie,
I guess like anybody's expectations is that's what it's like.
Yeah.
Oh yay! Now we get to see like the continuation.
Right, exactly.
But then I was like, nope.
But it's not even that. It was just like a completely new thing.
Yeah.
With new characters. It takes so much longer for you to invest in these characters, especially with the circumstance of what it was, that I felt like it was just kind of not working.
Which, I mean, look, I don't mind retelling a story like within the universe.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of opportunities, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for spin-offs and stuff like that within the same world. Right. Just make it good.
Just make it good. That's it. That's it.
I mean, it wasn't bad overall. I feel like it's a fun movie to watch, I think, if you just want to watch a movie.
Yeah.
It's not like...
Yeah, it's not...
I mean, I'm not expecting this film to be some kind of like, you know, magnus opus, like, oh, this is the greatest zombie film ever. I never went into this movie with that expectation.
Right.
But even with the small expectation that I had from... Just because they're like, oh, it's a Train to Busan sequel. That's why.
It's like, well, yeah, like, I mean, I have the same bar. It's like Train to Busan is the bar.
Yeah.
So obviously you go into it with that. But this movie is lower than that. So it's just like, dang.
Which I think is a testament to like sequels in general. Sure. And just how hard it is to make a sequel that's better than the first.
100%. Or even like match it.
Yeah, even just match it.
Yeah.
Which like, I feel like...
Again, like, I think maybe the route for me is... Well, like, one, characters always. But also, again, like we talked about with the zombies, just like that level of the threat of them, and then the just the zombie factor of like, this is still a zombie movie, so those zombies should feel threatening, and it should still be a level of survivability, even though you're not telling a pure survival story. Yeah,
or even like, even if the zombies themselves have like in a certain way been controlled by the human beings,
right?
Like those 631 unit or whatever, even if they controlled them, it would have been so much cooler to see how they manipulate the zombies to try to get those other, you know, people like screwed over.
Yeah.
But it never really fleshed out that part as much as like I kind of expected it in a certain way.
Right.
It was like
they use them like
for the arena,
right?
But like,
but they use them, even manipulating them felt one note as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like it's not like they just use them for the arena for those few people who we don't even care for, except for that one dude.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. And like honestly, I felt nothing when he died. It was just like, okay, yeah, I guess it's that moment, that like moment where you feel sad for the dude because he's related to the main character. But like I never really liked that character too much, anyways.
Exactly.
So you never really gave me something to hold on to make me really care for that character. So when he died, it didn't really feel too much like.
Oh man, that sucked.
Yeah. And I was like, he's probably not gonna make it. You know, like.
Yeah. Should have died a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So if they utilize the zombies in such a way where it really kind of made them like these crazy people who are willing to use these infected people to, you know, you take advantage of other people, that would have been a cool, like, you know, scheme. But it didn't really go to that. And I was kind of like expecting something like that when I watched the trailers too, because I saw a little bit of the trailer where like they're like in that arena thing, and I was like, oh wow, I guess they're gonna kind of go like ham with that, you know, like like they're gonna do so many crazy things with these zombies, like manipulate them in certain ways to like screw over the main character and stuff.
That like that pile, like that literal like garbage pile of zombies.
Yeah, I was like, what is that?
What is that, and why?
like why? Yeah, exactly. Why?
And like nothing but visual like in it. Like that was just there to be there.
Exactly. Like when I saw that in the trailer, I was like, oh, okay, they're gonna like
with the zombie
do some real like zombie centipede stuff. You know?
Some monster like Frankenstein thing.
But no, it was just that thing.
Exactly. It was just
it has no fear factor aside from, you know, not even in the arena, because it's just like for play. Like for them, it's just like
this is a betting game.
And the main characters never really are scared of zombies anymore. So not even the kids. They don't even care. They're like, oh, it's fun. Let me play with this joystick car RC. Yeah. car and just like, go ham with these like zombies and just make them go somewhere else. So
she's like, dang. Yeah, even when like in that scene and she like drops the car and then the zombies are near the SUV, she just like looks at her like, really, bro?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oops. And then like they joke about it. It's not even like a life-threatening situation.
Yeah.
But it's just. So
those things I think are the dissonance that you have in the movie where it's like you're supposed to kind of be scared of these zombies, but even little kids aren't scared of them. So it's like,
right.
What use are they?
So I guess going along talking about the zombie genre, kind of like we're saying. So should there be still a level of horror like in the zombie genre? Like they still have to be scary or threatening in a sense. Even though
it doesn't have to be horror, but it has to be threatening, I feel.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the difference.
Like, because you could still make, a zombie comedy or a zombie action movie.
Yeah.
But, like, the zombies still have to be, like, not full comedy or not full.
Even in One Cut Out of Death, the zombie was threatening.
For sure, right?
It wasn't, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like, they took it, they reacted to it as, like,
yeah, it was
my
like,
God.
I'm going to die if this zombie comes near me,
Yeah.
Like, that's what you need, I feel like. That failed in the other movie we watched, Zombieology. That failed there too.
But at least they took it seriously.
They did.
They took it a little more.
Yeah, like the characters are scared of them, but like even there, they didn't feel as chicken egg stuff. You kind of lose that there too.
Yeah.
The threat was there. I have to say, I guess the chicken.
The chicken was threatening, bro.
That was a whole different reason why it had its own issues,
Bro, the chicken was serious stuff, man.
It one-shots you, so yeah, definitely.
Clean headshots, like never misses.
The threat level is there. It just had different problems.
The reasons are a little topsy-turvy.
Like Train to Busan, obviously there was a threat.
Yeah.
Honestly, It wasn't a horror movie for me, Train to Busan.
Right.
But
it was more of a suspenseful film.
Yeah,
right?
But there was definitely the threat there, I feel like.
100%.
And the suspense was there. What other zombie movies are there that I can reference to? You watch Alive, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Even in that film, I felt like there was a level of threat.
Yeah. I think more so than any other of those references.
Yeah.
Just because of it didn't focus too much on the scale of zombies, but just like how a small group or a single zombie will mess you up.
And also the location I feel like is so important.
Right.
Where it's like you're just confined to this little area, and when there's so much zombies that are around you, I think that creates that threat too, and I think that was utilized really well in Alive.
Yeah, and that's a big difference here because we're just traveling through the streets. And
they're just chilling, driving through the street. Like, cars make noise, right? Like, they can hear, right? Zombies, because you said that they can't see, but they can hear.
Yeah.
It's like, cars make a lot of noise. I don't know if you know. So if you're driving through the street, the only car, I'm pretty sure the zombies will know. You don't need a flare and, all of these things to, that's not the only thing that makes noise,
Light cannons.
Yeah, the light cannons.
Yeah. I was saying, I thought the beginning of the movie was pretty strong. Like, the prologue was a pretty good start for the film. Like, it definitely had kind of all the Train to Busan nuances there.
Right. Just in
the prologue, unfortunately. And even, in the beginning scene, it kind of lost me when they were in Hong Kong with, the whole American English, whatever.
Yeah.
But, once they hit Icheonport and then they discover the truck, before the gang arrives, even
that when you see that big glass with all the zombies, that was still good.
Yeah.
But
even when he's fighting the zombies with the truck and they're trying to escape and they think that they got away.
Yeah.
Everything up until the getaway was all right, this is okay so far.
Right. But there's still the element of the threat of the zombies and stuff like that.
Because they're reacting the same way.
Yeah.
Oh my God, zombies! Let's get the hell out of here. Right. There's a stake in that that situation.
Yeah.
And then they get away by the whatever, the hairs of their teeth or whatever. But then everything after that is
yeah, it's once the kids come out come show up and the gangs come
and
out.
The truck with like the
Truck
lights.
with the yeah.
Yeah, and then that's when things take.
It's like the comedic kind of thing. But
Mm-hmm.
you gotta time those things right. I feel like the
comedic element.
yeah.
Yeah. With the door lock. She's like, oops.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, those things like completely kill the fear, right?
Yeah. And why were the girls there? Why were the girls like waiting for unit?
They
6?
just wanted to go out. That's another thing. I'm like,
why were they there in the first place?
see, that's another thing. It's like the mom's like, oh, I told you guys not to go out, but like the kids just go out whenever they want. Just go like driving around in a zombie infested like land.
Increasing kill count.
Yeah.
They're trying to get high scores.
Like, really? Like,
is that what we do now? Is that?
Are there more people like that? Like around? Like,
yeah.
It was just kind of, it kind of dropped the ball in that sense.
Mm.
I think the more you talk about it, the more plot holes you figure out. But like things that just kind of don't make sense.
The more we can mash this like a potato.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's any more to add?
As a zombie movie, it's not the best, but as an action movie, it's not that bad.
Sure.
Except for his problems with the car CGI, whatever.
Yeah, no, not a fan.
For me, I didn't mind it too much.
But I could accept this being an action film rather than a zombie film.
I mean, I don't really like car chases in general too much.
Really?
Yeah, it's just like
there's no like
get it over with kind of thing for me.
But Baby Driver, man.
Baby Driver was good.
So great.
But that's because it
stuck to its guns.
Yeah, and it worked really well with what they're trying to kind of accomplish. The film itself with the music and just how it all synced up and like that was just beautiful to watch. It was more like opera on wheels. It was like a musical on wheels.
Opera on wheels.
It was a musical on wheels.
I could dig that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was a purpose there that I really could appreciate.
If La La Land was an action film with
action car film,
yo, that's it. That's
it.
Yeah. So we're just really waiting for our like true good zombie movie for this series. Like why can't we get it? Why is this so hard? Why'd you make me go?
I like the first one, man. No.
But like the genre zombie movie, like
that's your problem. I'm satisfied with what we're watching so far, except for the second one.
I'm like, it's just an interesting series for me. The fact that we just have not like.
Well, I think it's a testament to how versatile you can just put zombies in things.
Right. How flexible people are trying to be with the zombie genre.
Yeah, I actually think smaller scale zombie movies do better.
Yes.
In the sense like location stuff like that.
It's a good point. Like World War Z was really good. And that's a very expansive kind of setting. But I mean, besides that, what other else can you pull,
I'm sure there's some others. I can't think of any on the top of my head, but
like, I mean, Shaun of the Dead had a couple locations, but not like definitely not World War Z scale.
Well, like Walking Dead and stuff. I didn't watch Walking Dead, but I'm sure that one is more like expansive too.
100%.
Yeah. Well, the zombies are different there too. That's another thing. How the zombies react and what they are. That's another important aspect of
that's a flexible prop.
Yeah. I think the reason why Train to Busan popped off as much as it did was it's zombies. Like people didn't really see that kind of zombies before.
Same thing with World War Z too.
Yeah.
Like they really used the numbers
Right. Whereas in this one, it's like we've already seen these zombies before, but now they're like dumber.
Exactly. Now they're way more useless.
Yeah, and so like it just kind of loses its effect. Because like I said, the threat was the numbers, right? The threat was the speed, and threat was just the overwhelming power of them.
Right.
And like now it's just like throw a flash there.
Yeah, exactly.
A flare gun here, and you're done.
Anybody have a flashlight?
Yeah, just go at night, and you're done. So.
Oh well.
Anyways.
But we have one more.
Yes.
that we will do. This is like a comedy kind of as well, right?
It is.
Something like that. So that will be next week. And then, dang it, we have to think of a new series again.
Yes.
It's making me do so much work, bro.
New series. I'm excited.
I have a pitch, though.
You do?
I have an idea. So we'll loop around to that.
Well, we'll tell you guys next week.
Thank you, guys.
See you guys.
Pieces.